Hello, my fellow Autism warriors. This is Am I Saved My Life here. Today I'm going to talk about how sometimes people snap at you and how you shouldn't really necessarily take that personal. Sometimes you do things that cause them to snap, but it's not so much you as maybe they're having a bad day or they're angry about something else that's going on in their life. Think of it as a pot of boiling water on a stove. So the water starts to boil and boil and boil and build up. And normally the steam can go out. Well, in most cultures, you usually keep that anger or that boil under a lid, under control. You suppress it. So normally you can keep it suppressed enough that the lid holds it. But let's say it's on high on the stove. What ends up happening is as more and more heat gets added to it, and in this case it's a stimulus for anger, the lid starts popping off every so often, and that's basically someone losing their temper. They start popping off their temper every so often. And that's basically what might be happening is it's not so much they're just angry or something else, and you're just happen to take them off a little bit too much, and it just pushed them over the edge and they blew up at you, or snapped at you, or something like that. Or it could be they're just a disagreeable person, and you probably shouldn't really try to be friends with them. You should probably just try to avoid them. So when people are angry at you, sometimes it is you, but sometimes it's not. You have to learn when to not take anger outbursts personal, because it may be they're stressed about something, maybe they're angry at someone else, and they end up lashing at you because they can't lash out at that person, or it's built up in them. Or they may have a mental illness, like for instance with my PTSD. What can happen is I can have a surge of anger, like it just snaps like that, and it's something that'll trigger me, and I'll just snap. And they may have mental illness, and it's just something that can happen. It's not necessarily just you. It's something you don't always want to take personal. You can think of how can avoid the situation in the first place, and this is not an excuse to not improve. This is not an excuse to try to improve. It's not an excuse to try to figure out. You don't think of this as saying I don't need to figure out what's going on. I don't figure out what I need to do to change, but it happens sometimes, and you have to learn when to blame yourself and when not to blame yourself. Because like with me, when I get people to basically snap at me, I've learned to kind of sense and judge by their body language and by their gestures when they are not happy and I need to stay away from them or not talk to them. For instance, example would be doing this, or being tense, or breathing a lot. These are examples that they are irritated or they're angry, and it's best to stay away from them, avoid them if possible, and let them cool off. It's like when an animal is angry or something like that. You don't mess with the animal because the animal might bite. Well, people might yell at you. So just let them go cool off. Just leave them alone. And if you find someone that's disagreeable, just a cranky or mean person, chances are you probably aren't going to win them over. You're probably not going to make them your friend. Okay, it would take something extreme to get that to be done. But they might be disagreeable by nature, and your best bet is just to stay away from them. That's just what you're going to have to do. So, thank you for watching. Like I said, this video is mostly for those of you who are younger, because as you get older, you tend to learn this on your own. But hopefully it'll help some of you to understand these things. Thank you for watching.